What is up, career musicians? Joel here. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend of gigs. It is a new week, and that means a new episode of the podcast and a new chance for us to get in and make some serious work happen. So this week's episode of the podcast, we are working with an amazing musician out of Baltimore, Bryant Wilson, the Beatqualizer. He is a case study in branding, being diverse, and pivoting with situations that happen. We talk a lot in the career musician about finding mentors and working with teachers that are doing the things that you want to be doing. If you are someone who wants to be a full-time musician, Bryant is an amazing case study. He talks about consistency over luck, about creating your own opportunities. Stick around. There's some crazy stories about cereal and branding yourself that way. A lot of really relatable stories, we deal with all the time. Get ready for this episode. Bryant has some great insight to share. Dig in. We'll see you out on the road.
Oh, no. Welcome to another episode of the Career Musician Podcast. Today we have the Beatqualizer. I love that nickname, that artist alias, Mr. Bryant Wilson. We got to start there. Beatqualizer. I love that. How did you come up with that?
The last few years, I've been trying to be big on branding, and we were sitting in a car, so I got a whole production team, and we was all sitting in a car. We was like, yo, you can't just be Bryant Drums. You know what I'm saying? So you produce, you do everything. So I was like, all right, cool. So we sitting there, and I started thinking about equal, because I'm like, yo, I'm equal. I can do what everybody else do. So I figured in my mind, the Beatqualizer. That's how I came up with the name.
I love it. It's like a literal translation of how you view what you do. I love it. It's same here. When I was thinking of branding, I came up with Nomad because I've lived all over the world and I've traveled to so many different places. By the time I was like 30, I had more than 25 physical addresses. So like I lived in 25 different places.
In the States?
All over. And Japan too. By the time I was 30, it was crazy. So I'm like, okay, I'm nomadic. I'm nomad, So first of all, how did we connect?
So we connected at NAMM through Brian.
Well, shout out to Brian Fraser Moore for connecting us.
Yeah, that's my bro. Shout out to Brian.
And I love not only what he's done as a career musician, but how he's coaching other cats like yourself. That's the same exact mission that we have here at the Career Musician. So tell us about what your mission is as a career musician and how you started working and what keeps you busy.
I'm a single father. So outside of my son and my daughter, recently just picked up a wedding band. So there's been consistent work. So it's like, all right, cool. Now I also have my own studio where I'm able to record for people that need, some drums or whatever.
Nice.
But outside of that, lately, man, just being a father.
That's amazing.
That's what I've been doing. The gigs, they come and go. That's just what it is. That's what I've been doing.
You hit it on the head, man. I mean, family is all we got. And especially if it's our direct lineage, you got to take care of the kiddos. So I love that. Okay. So you got hooked up with a wedding band. One of the biggest things that I like to talk about for the career musician is that you have to have consistent income, right? Because as musicians, we know that the income is sporadic. And I want everybody to know that there's no shame in any gig you take. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of gig it is, whatever. You could be touring on the AA level. You could be out with Taylor Swift or Benson Boone or Beyonce, and then you can come home from that tour and go do wedding bands and club dates and corporate events, because the only thing that matters is what you just said, providing consistent income for you and your family.
That's it. That's all that matters.
I mean, and that's why, again, I hate to keep sounding like a broken record, but that's why the career musician exists. I want people to understand that we're building a career. We're not building swag for ourselves to just show off, oh, look at me. Don't worry about all that shit, man. Just be focused on building your career and your little empire for your team, your family. I love the fact that you did that. Now, it sounds like you're doing like trifecta. You're doing the wedding band to stay consistent. You're recording drum sessions at your house. And then you said you have a production team. So let's go through that. I guess let's start with the wedding band. So what does that look like? You want to get on the call list, nail your next audition, and finally land that gig of your dreams? You're in the right place. For over 30 years, I've toured the world playing the biggest stages with some of the most iconic artists in the game. And I've learned exactly what it takes to nail the audition and get the gig. Look, maybe you want to hit the road too, playing arenas and festivals, backing some of today's megastars on tours. Hey, I'm Nomad, and I've been on both sides of the audition glass. I've spent over a decade as a music director for legendary hitmaker Babyface. And yeah, I remember exactly what it felt like to be the one hoping for that big break. Even when I was auditioning back in 2005, when I first moved to Los Angeles for the American Idol's live tour band. That's the year that Carrie Underwood won. Well, look, that's why I've created a free guide with 3 simple proven strategies to help you stand out and get hired. It's part of my mission to help musicians just like you get the gig and live out your dreams on stage. Get on the list, get in the room, get called back, and get the gig.
So the wedding bands is usually just like once or twice a weekend. I actually started this gig back in March. So I started back in March, but before that, COVID hit. We all was affected by it. Bro, I could not catch a break after COVID. It was like, it took me about maybe 3 years to get another gig.
Wow.
Like 3 to 4 years just to get another gig. And I was just like, you know what? That's cool. Then I started thinking like, maybe I need to relocate. Maybe I need to do something. And honestly, I started feeling like my time was running out. That's another thing that we don't think about when we young. Like, yo, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a thing. And then once I got the gig, now I'm like, yo, I'm taking whatever comes. That's just what it is.
That's it. But that's the name of the game. That's what it is to build a career out of this.
You know, typically you make like a good probably about 5. You know what I mean? Just to do something like that. But that's better than nothing.
That's substantial, man. Look, if you're pulling 5 once a week, that's $2,000 a month. That $2,000 a month right there, that could pay a substantial bill. It could pay rent or mortgage or even partial mortgage. It could pay insurances and food, you know. So, and then if you get Fridays, like you said, then you're looking at a G a week. I mean, look, that's how you build, man. You got to start getting some consistent stuff and just putting them together and build. And then, okay, now move over to the drum recordings. So when did you start putting together your drum studio for clients?
That's funny you said that. Brian, he was the guy, like, you know, that's my mentor. Brian was like, bro, you can definitely play, but it's just this other little stuff you have to figure out. So when I watched him, he had a studio. And I was like, yo, that is inspiring. I want one for myself. I ain't gotta go nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I ain't gotta pay for nobody to record for me. I can record for myself and send it out. And that's just been what it's been. And it's been cool.
That's it. And how did you, because drums, obviously I'm in my studio, guitars are a little easier to record, although I do have a full-blown rack full of gear and pedals, and I have pedals and amp heads and amps everywhere, even speaker cabinets. So mine's elaborate, but drums are even more elaborate. How did you figure out, okay, what kind of system am I going to use? What DAW am I most comfortable on? What kind of mics and mixer and preamps? And because that's a lot for a drummer. That's a lot to piece together. So did Brian help you with that, or did you just go on a research, agenda? Like, how did you do that?
So Brian helped. He gave me a lot of suggestions.
Right.
So the suggestions he gave me, I did all my research. And I was like, okay, let me narrow it down to this and this one. And I just went what I thought. Because at first when I started, I was using Focusrite. Now I use Apollo.
Listen, the Focusrite stuff is good because it's very affordable and it gets you in the door.
So I'm still like, every day when I'm down here, when I'm here, it's like, yo, it's always something like that I don't know. And I'm like, yo, I gotta figure this out.
Right. YouTube University, right?
Oh, YouTube University, bro, is so free. I love it.
All right. So what is a typical drum session for you with your clients? And first of all, well, how did you put the word out there to people like, hey, I can do drum tracks. This is something that I offer as a serious service.
Social media. So once I started doing like little stuff like drum covers and stuff like that, and my description, like, I offer drum recordings or whatever you need. Put it on the website. And then if you want some service, you can just book me through the website.
I love it. And how did you decide to put together a website? Like, was that something that you always had, or was that some kind of epiphany that you had later on? Because I'm looking at your website now and it's great. And I love how you really focus on that, the remote drum sessions.
That came later. I can't personally do the websites. I pay somebody to do it.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's my point. Like, you got to delegate. At some things, you got to just
Yeah.
delegate, you know?
So that's what I had to do. So I was like, man, let me make everything make sense. Like even down to the brand name, getting paid in your brand name.
Come on, tell us more. Elaborate.
A lot of people, we have to, especially if we have a brand, bro, we have to switch our mindsets with that brand.
Exactly. And you have to be willing, to own it.
Willing to own it, bro. And everything I do with the Beatqualizer is for the Beatqualizer. Like even the cereal, like even though I ain't no cereal right now, but this is
Dude,
part of my brand.
I saw that on your Instagram. I'm like, I was just, what the hell is that? Tell me, what is that? What is this?
So my whole mindset was like, well, okay, we all play drums. Everybody can play. What can I do that's different from everybody else?
Right.
So that's been my whole mindset. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add some products. I even got a beat pack. So it's little things like that I add, everybody do hats, everybody do maybe shirts. I'm like, let me try something else.
Yeah. So your beat pack, did you do that with a company or is that on your own?
Me.
Okay. So that's available. And I love the little cartoon guy you got on your drum head. That's killer, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right here, you talking about him.
Yeah, that's the what do you call it? The caricature of you. I love that.
The character of me, yeah, man.
Man, so yeah, then you have shop. Okay. So but see, these are the things that most musicians don't think about, Right. And again, I like how you took a business approach. You're like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And you treated it like a business. Yeah. Did you put a business plan together, or were these just stages of evolution over time organically?
So I was thinking about cereal probably about 3 years ago.
Nice.
And I was like, well, why do I want to make some cereal? What I did was, one of my favorite people to look up to was is Master P, because I like how his mastermind, how he how he think.
Yeah.
He got the bag of chips, he got the cereal, and I was like, yo, what if I do the same thing? And what I do is, like, a couple times a year, I got this thing where I do like a 90-day run. I write down all my goals and I just go through and crush them one by one in the 90 days. And now it's like, all right, cool. I'm still working on what I need to work on for my cereal and everything else, but I'm still going to think about the next thing while I'm doing it.
That's killer, bro. All right. Yeah. So the cereal hasn't come to full iteration yet, but you're still figuring out all the elements of how you're going to bring it to market.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I can't wait. I'm definitely going to buy a box.
Hey, man, listen, the crazy thing is, now I put it out and I've got people to actually buy it, but it's just, I've been so busy trying to, with the other things like the wedding stuff and my son and everything. And I'm just like, yo, I got to get back and make some more cereal, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and now man. I'm looking at the Beatqualizer Volume 1, your library pack, your sample pack. And what is that? What kind of grooves so it says sector pack. Give us an idea of what that's all about.
The beat pack was about, I made it with my production team. So the name of the production team is called Moon Age Music. So it's like one of them things like, okay, what if we go out of space? What do the sounds in space sound like? You know what I mean? So we just set, that's the whole mindset of it. If you pick up the pack, I have like stuff like Afro beat. I have hip hop on there. I think like rock, like a little bit of everything.
A nice little,
trying to mix it up. That's just the first one. I'm gonna work on the second one soon.
I love it, man. What's crazy is musicians who get it know how to utilize the gifts that they have, the talents that they've cultivated. It's not like all of a sudden one day you can't play drums and then the next day somebody gave you a gift and now you can play drums. Every gift that we have or talent is something that we cultivated to the T. Like we worked so hard to achieve this. But that's the first phase. The first phase is like a chunk of clay, and you whittle it out and you make a form, a shape. You're like, okay, I could start to see there's a drummer under there, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then the second phase is like, well, how the heck am I going to get this drummer to start making a career? And that's when it's like, that's like the whole next level of work. And you put in that work. And then I believe that the third phase is where you get to zoom out a little bit at everything you've done and everything you're doing. And then you can choose what phase 3 is. And I love that you said, you know, my phase right now, I think your phase 3 is your family. You know, I'm going to focus on my family. But it doesn't mean that we neglect phase 1 and phase 2. We still have to maintain.
Hey, man, I still got some dreams I need to catch up with.
You know, but
Like-
not only that, we still have to maintain our chops, whatever instrument or instruments. You still have to maintain your production skills.
Yep.
And you still have to maintain all of your business aspirations and continue to cultivate. So, you know, these phases are all together. They grow together. But man, you've really put together a nice little outline for yourself, and let that be shown here on the Career Musician. Let other people be inspired, and be inspired, cats. Don't be hating on anything. Don't be scared. Don't be jealous. Be inspired.
All right, because I want to see everybody win.
Right.
I love when I see everybody winning, bro. I'm one of them. Like, I love to see you win.
Yes. Because we're all human. We all deserve the same things. We all come from the same, you know. I love that. I love hearing that. Now, and the reason why I say that is because I know sometimes, you know, music is a tough game.
It can be discouraging, bro.
Right?
So when I first started out, I was just like, well, dang, everybody can play. Like I said earlier, everybody can play. It's a lot of competition. And then, like I said, once I got older, I'm like, dang, I ain't gonna never get no international gig. Like, what am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I started thinking like that, but I was like, bro, you gotta like chill.
Yeah.
You gotta chill, change your mindset, man. And then that's another thing I learned from somebody. Somebody told me, yo, sometimes, yo, your what do you call it? Your latter years will be greater than your younger years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool.
You're right, because in our 20s, we're so preoccupied with the hustle, just running around doing, you know, whatever we can and everything, and just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then, like you said, if you go through some life struggles, you're like, oh shoot, this is a little harder than I thought. And then when you start to get close to your 30s, you're like, okay, wait, what am I gonna do now? When did that all start coming together for you? What age?
I don't know what age, but I just know for me, growing up in Baltimore City, it was hard, bro.
Really?
It was hard. Like, when I say it was hard, it was hard. Like, it was just like, I got friends that's, you know, on this side that live that life or whatever, and it's just like you in the middle of everything. So it's just like, yo, like, then I'm trying to focus on trying to be a drummer, and in my career, it was just hard to focus.
Wow.
So by the time I was probably maybe 30 something.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
I figured it out. So it was just one of them, man. Bro. And that's another thing people need to understand. Like, yo, sometimes, yo, them hard battles happen, but they don't last forever.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's just seasons, man.
Seasons, bro. That's it.
And life is full of seasons. Man, you just to recap that, you just said a second ago, you had a mind shift. I always call it an energy shift. With your energy, sometimes you literally have to unplug, reset it, and come back with a whole new mindset, whole new energy. And then, you know, that seasons, there's tough times that are going to happen, but just know that the good season isn't going to last forever, but neither is the bad season. And that's the good news, right? That's
good news. Like, not everyone will last forever. Just enjoy it while it lasts.
Before we close out, Bryant, what do you think is the most important thing that you could tell other career musicians that you want them to just really, if there was only one thing that they heard from this podcast, hopefully they're going to get more, but if there's just one thing, one piece of advice, what is that one thing that you say, hey, focus on this, get this right?
I would say consistency. Just stay consistent, bro, because we could be working real hard and then it'll become a time where it's like, okay, I'm doing this right. I'm doing this right. I'm doing this right. Well, now, when is the time? Just be consistent. We don't know when the time's going to happen. We don't know. And that was my biggest, I ain't going to say downfall, but that was my biggest like thing that I dealt with. And then comparison, like that was a whole nother thing. Like you can't compare either. You just got to let yourself just be great, bro, in your season. That's it.
I love it. Just be you. Comparison is the thief of all joy, right? It'll literally take the joy right out of your soul when you start comparing, and then you start beating yourself up.
Yeah. And bro, it's been times where I'm like, bro, I ain't doing this, man. I'm cool. Like I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like then I'm just like, yo, sometimes you just gotta sit back and let it, work its course. That's it.
Yeah. Let it ride. And consistency. I say that all the time. You know what greatness is made of? Consistent work. That's
what they say, consistency beats talent.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, that's what they say. So I mean, why not? Why not do the opposite thing?
That's so true, man. So true.
Yeah, they so important. The power of just looking at what you want to do on paper is powerful, bro.
See, I'm so glad you said that, bro. I'm telling you, everywhere I go, I have a giant whiteboard with the markers, or I have these giant sticky notes that you could tear off and you could just stick it on the wall. Man, when you could write it and see it and think about it and visualize it, right?
That's when you have no choice but to believe right there.
Come on, man.
Hey, man. Look, bro. Like I said, I write everything down, bro. I'm still, I still write down stuff from like when I was younger. Like, I want the biggest gig I ever had.
Yeah.
It ain't come yet, but it will.
What is it when you say that? When you say the biggest gig you ever had, what would that look like? An example of that? What would that be?
Michael Jackson's no longer here no more, but like people like that.
yeah, I get it. I
mean, I just want to technically, I want to see what that's actually like.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun. It could also be grueling. Speaking to run it back to the top, that's how me and Brian Fraser Moore met. I started working with Babyface as his guitar player.
Nice.
And
how was that great for you, bro?
And it was great. It was a 12-year run. We had 12 years. I had personally 12 years with Face. So it was amazing. I started the first 2 years as the guitar player, and then Rob Lewis was the MD, and it was Rob, Brian, and Ethan Farmer on bass. It was a great little team, man. Yeah, it was a lineup. And then I was the new guy in the lineup. I was the new kid. And then actually I think Brian went to Madonna. And then I think Rob and Ethan went to New Kids on the Block. And then I was like, oh man, I don't know what to do. And then, one thing led to the next, and I ended up being the MD for Face. So I was his MD for 10 years. Something that I want to say is it's so important. There's a few things that are so important when you're talking about these upper echelon gigs. Is number one, don't try to be friends with the artist. You're not their friend, you're their employee, number one, right?
You get too comfortable.
You can't get too comfortable. The moment you get too comfortable. Number two, don't take it for granted. You got the quote unquote big gig, but guess what? Just as fast as you got it, you could lose it.
Yep.
So be careful, And then finally, what you said, because you just want to experience it, it's a lot of fun, but it can be grueling. Touring in general can be grueling, but touring overseas can be even more grueling because of the time differentials and the lack of sleep. And let me tell you, sleep deprivation, that's a sticky issue, man, because you could be sleep deprived and in a funky mood, and somebody could rub you the wrong way, and you react without thinking. And then you're like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So you got to be careful.
That's a fact though.
And look, I had so much fun hanging out and drinking and going to see all kinds of crazy sights around the world and around our country, and it's a blast. But when you're with the artist, when you're around the artist, it's business. It's time to get down to work, and so you gotta.
It's a job.
Yes.
You're not going to drink in front of the 9 to 5 boss. So why would you do
Right.
that?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's a job. Like, yo, that's how we gotta think about it.
We do. And let me tell you, I've made the biggest mistakes of them all. I've screwed up so many times. So when I say something, it's not because I'm like, hey, you need to, it's like, no, I screwed up. I lost that gig. I lost this situation. I screwed up this, relationship. I've done it all because as you grow, you learn. And that's normal.
Accountability.
Career musicians listening, there's a lot to glean here from Bryant, the Beatqualizer, and talk about it, man. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up. Send us DMs. Send Bryant a DM. Send us Mia here at the Career Musician. Hit us up. Subscribe to the podcast. We'll see you out there on the road or in the studio, as we say.
Hey, everybody. I'm the Beatqualizer, and I am a career musician.
I'm just a nomad, nowhere man, writing the songs in this one-man band. A nomad.